Welcome back. You're still watching Business Morning, the Friday edition of the program on Channels Television, and we're broadcasting live from Lagos, Nigeria. And so, as I told you earlier on, as I started the program, our conversation today is going to be focused on small and medium enterprises and how driving strategic SME growth through government participation can be achieved. And I'm being joined on the program by two business development experts, Ayo Emakhiome, I beg your pardon, I'm sure Emakhiome, yes, Managing Director of Coinbox Limited, and Edward Esene from Kinetic Associates. He's a senior consultant with Kinetic Associates. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me this morning.
Thank you, Ari. It's nice to be here.
So, this is what you work with every day, small and medium enterprises, looking at how they're faring and the rest of it. But in recent times, we've seen a kind of dynamic change towards trying to encourage SME operators in Nigeria. But we haven't seen any recent figures to show how they've been faring. So could you just tell us how SME operators have actually been faring in Nigeria in recent times?
Based on that question, Nigeria, for what it is, we have a major challenge with information, which is the major issue for industrialization. We need to have proper information to be able to know what figures and where and what to do. But so based on your question, we will use the recent figures that we were given, I think by CBN, where presently we know that we have about 17 million SMEs in this country, and they are providing employment for about 32 million people. And that also adds to the industrial plan of our government, of which they want to now increase the number of employment of individuals, where according to the Minister of Trade, he is saying that as much as possible, we would have one of the current SMEs employ one more person. Because by doing that, we would increase the GDP.
Yeah, but if you're going to have at least one SME operator employ one person, does this SME operator feel comfortable with this provision or with this new statement that has been made? Do they have an enabling environment, or the policies on ground, do they encourage them to want to employ more people?
Well, when you say the SME being comfortable, it's not about comfortable, it's about need. If, based on the current government policies, they meet the needs and promises they've already said, there will be a need to employ not just one, but 2, 3, 4, depending on your business strategy as an SME, which is where we are going to. That, look, by providing information, infrastructure, power, and all the other things, then automatically you know that I was producing 10 million naira worth of goods initially, but now I am being told, with the infrastructure on ground, I can now produce 20 million. It's not going to be automatic. Somebody has to be part of that increase. So you will need to employ somebody. So that's how it's supposed to, government is supposed to increase and create that employment. Okay,
now Edward, how much support has there been from the government in recent times in terms of providing business support for SME operators?
I think that just recently the government, they are beginning to wake up to their responsibility. The SME sector has been largely neglected over the years, and it's something that the government is looking at now seriously. They've just been playing lip service to that sector. SME, big, huge contributor to the economy. The SME employs more people, even than collectively. The SME are known to provide jobs, even in their small numbers, but in volume, they are the real job creator in every economy. So it's just a situation where they've been abandoned, but now there are a lot of policies that is coming to favor, to stimulate local businesses, from textile, from leather, to this FBU, the new automobile policy, to the new agricultural reform policy, through, so there's a lot of reforms and policies.
So now they're getting the desired
Exactly,
attention.
but the challenge is most of these SMEs, the problem with policy from the government perspective is two-layered. One, no adequate consultation. The guy is the business owner, is the business operator, is probably in the field or in the factory running his business. The government in Abuja just, formulating policies. So there's a disconnect. The initiators of those policies are not doing enough consultations before those policies are being crafted. Then again, the other guy, the SME guy on the other side, is not even aware.
But you see, Edward, let me just ask. We know that the Bank of Industry is supposed to be the go-between for SME operators, and the government is supposed to serve as a go-between. Now, if, for instance, is there a department, for instance, that works with SME operators in terms of getting their inputs and ideas on how best to formulate these policies and programs and initiatives to make sure that it's tailored to suit their own needs?
There are policy advocacy organizations. One of such, FCCI, which we are also part of. One of such, again, Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, and again, SMIDAN, because that is their role. In all of these policy formulation, helping government to play the intermediary. The BOI's case, BOI is a more of a specialized bank. If government have funding intervention for businesses, government have other institutions they use. There's also BOA that looks at funding towards agriculture. There's also NEFund, National Economic Reconstruction Fund. So that is as it concerns funding. But again, is the problem SMEs are having in this country is not just about money. It's not just about funding. So we have these specialized banking institutions that are not our normal regular money deposit banks, that the government is using as instrument to meet or attend to the issues of SMEs, and there are also other areas.
Okay, so now we've pointed out that we have LCCI, we have SMIDAN, and MAN. Okay. So these ones are supposed to be, as much as possible, liaising with SME operators.
The broker policy advocacy.
Exactly. So how much of their input is actually taken into consideration when government is forming their policy? Because from what you've just said now, most of the policies do not favor SME operators as much as it should.
Okay, so again, that brings us back to the definition of an SME. There are about three categories. There's the micro, there's the small, there's the medium, and the big. Now, if you look at MAN and LCCI, the way it's been structured now is almost becoming for the elite. The normal small SME operator may not be able to even subscribe or become a member.
Even the micro one. Even
the micro ones. Somebody don't want to say the need for them to be members. So all of the there are some big heavyweights on LCCI membership in terms of corporate membership. Now all of the membership that they have now, as it were, they are almost like elite organizations. So the main rural grassroots players, they are not enlisted, and their opinions, or they don't even know. So again, there's a disconnect, in the SME body. That's my take.
Okay, so you wanted to add something to it?
Yes, what I wanted to say was, just like he has said, basically, when you look at the setup of MAN and the setup of LCCI, their structure is such that it supports medium-scale enterprises. But what we're after is not majorly medium-scale. It is the micro and small.
They do medium,
but they do medium, because just merely the registration fees alone, as a small-scale company, that might be what you make in a year. So where can you now join such a company? So that's a major challenge. And most times, governments set their policy in line with what their focus is, not in line with consultations with LCCI or SMIDAN. SMIDAN would only pass the information and suggestions to the government, but the government has a focus. And usually they would rather concentrate on their focus and not listen to what the SMIDAN, the LCCI, and the MAN suggest.
Yeah, because you see, there have been this argument that government is not providing and maintaining a supportive economic environment for SMEs. Do you have a contrary argument to this?
I would not say it's about not providing. Governments from the 60s to date, they've always passed wonderful policies. They've always set up such wonderful programs that on paper is excellent. It's our dream come true. But at the end of the day, what happens? Implementation, monitoring, evaluation. And then outside all those three, there is a major issue of I am now the new government. Whatever the previous government did, I can't run with it because nobody will remember or notice me. And it's all about me. So for governments to really support SMEs, it's time they start looking long term. Look beyond your 4 years as a government.
So they should come up with a master plan, sort of, for the SME
They have
sector.
master plans. It's time to consolidate everything and give it a focus, which I think to some extent so far we hope that with this new enterprise, the new government industrial revolution plan, we hope with that one, the plan is not something that will end in 2015.
Okay.
We hope it's something that will go to 2025.